Welcome back to Reynolds Runabouts, everybody. I'm Jeffrey Reynolds. In this episode, I'm going to put the varnish on the interior of the boat, at least the first of three, and then I'll be moving on to the inner keel and then the keelsons, which I've epoxied, and those will get varnish eventually when I get ready. And then I'll go ahead and do the gray bilge area last. It's always easier to put paint over varnish than varnish over paint. And I'll do that when I do the two floor panels that are also gray. That way I've got the brush. The brush is wet with gray. I'll do all three parts at the same time. So let's get to work. Now that my sealer that has set the stain and given the stain some protection, I'm ready to sand it back just slightly with 220 on my flexible pad. And then even on the edges, I'm very careful not to burn through that protective sealer into my stain, because that will just mean more work, and you don't want to be there at this point. So I'm going to sand this back with 220. All of the areas that have been sealed, except for the inner floor slash keelsons and inner keel, I'm going to epoxy those. So those are going to get left for now. And then I'll sand this back, vacuum it very thoroughly, and then wait till the end of my workday. And then I'll go over it with a tack cloth and make sure I have all of the dust, and then begin finally applying the Pettit high build varnish, which probably minimum of 3 coats, because I have the epoxy and the sealer on here. It should give me a pretty good base. We'll see where 3 coats of the high build go. And then I'm not sure if I'll put clear on there or not. I kept the clear varnish that I ordered for the deck mostly because of the white lines. I want to make sure the white lines that are going to be put on the deck don't turn yellow. And the high build Pettit's varnish has an amber tint to it, so I don't really want to put that on the deck until the white lines are on. So this will probably get 3 coats of the high build, and then I'll see where I'm at. And then I'll call the interior done, except for the seat back, which I'll be doing at the same time on my workbench. As I do varnish here, I'll do varnish there. So back to work. Well, the day has arrived for me to put some varnish on this boat, at least the interior. I've got it all vacuumed, and now I'm going to use my beeswax tack cloth and just lightly drag it over the surface, every surface. The key is not to push too hard, or you'll transfer that wax onto the surface, which will then give you what they call fish eyes, because you now have a foreign substance on there that is not allowing the varnish to stick. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole boat with my tack cloth. It's very clean. I'm very happy to see that. My vacuuming job was stellar, I guess. But I'll do every surface, and then I'll keep turning my cloth, and then I'll turn it inside and out until I get the boat done. And if I have to get more tack cloths, I go get more. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll have a varnish party. I've got the interior of the boat all tacked clothed off, And now I'm ready to put on my high build varnish. I'm going to be using Pettit's Flagship high build varnish 2015. And I hope to only put like 3 coats on and then maybe a clear. They have a different one that's a clear without amber coloring in it. It's just more clear. I have my Pettit's brushing thinner 120 ready if I need it. Because we're now getting in to the important surfaces of your boat, like the finals, I'm going to use a filter. So I've stirred the varnish. I always try to find an area where I can pour and not ruin the directions. So I'm not sure, I haven't used Pettit varnish before. I've used Epiphanis, I've used Total Boat, so this will be a new one for me, but I've heard nothing but good things. In fact, I have used high build before. In 2009-10, I did a slick craft. I did do that. Yep, so what you do is you put the filter in, and that'll get anything nasty out of there. And then I'm going to just do a test with my brush to see if it flows. If it doesn't, I'll go to the 120 thinner, and then everything's going to end up in my roll tray. I'm going to roll and tip. So what I do with my rollers, you put the tape on, and this gets the dust off, and you dust your tray, you dust your, well, the brush was in thinner, so that is good. This is my clean apron, meaning I don't get dust on it most of the time. It's for paint. So we should be able to do this. Put my filter over here temporarily. And then I'm just gonna do a little test here. See if I like it. I'm gonna be going left to right, so I'll go up here. It's thick. Oh, no, not bad. Whether I can tip it is going to be the real. I think I'm going to go with it. If I find it to be a little bit thick, I'm going to go ahead and do something else. But I think I'm good. They said thinning's fine to do that. I'm going to use that advice if I have to. And I don't put very much in. I've got a lot of parts where I can start and stop. So that'll give me a chance to maybe do a little testing too. So I'm going to do this. This is why I use a cart. It's nice to have something around where you can put your material like your roller. So I use the roller with the little dots instead of the ridges. I find that allows me to move the varnish. So I'm going to load up that roller, not too much, but so I can get it out and I start seeing it come out. And then I'm going to roll. Usually, you put the handle in the area where you don't want to run into anything. And I've dusted these holes too, because those are prime candidates for where you can lose your dust-free environment. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to tip, meaning I'm going to move that varnish. I come out of the corner, but then I go back. And I'm just tipping off the bubbles that the roller left. That's what the tipping does. And I'm just going to follow those. And here's an area where obviously a roller won't work, but I have a brush. I have used foam brushes before. I'm finding though that it's they load up a lot, and I'm enjoying the brushes a lot more lately. So I'm going to keep doing that and just keep pulling that varnish from the newest to the oldest, and you're tipping the wet line. So I'm going to keep doing that and get this thing knocked out.
Well, that's the end of that. I've got to finish up this transom and call that good. And this will end this episode, and hope you're enjoying the playlist on this 55 Wagemaker. If you are, please hit the subscribe button. If you really like it, please hit the like button and leave any comments you may have or questions. Always nice to interact, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.